Good morning and happy Wednesday. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We're powered by Advanced Trading. Grain markets, we're not moving a whole lot this morning, but we know very well that could change. But we do have some good headlines, things that don't seem super relevant now. We've talked maybe about a lot about them previously, but they could come back very strongly. And so we got a lot of headlines. Let's go ahead and bring in Brady Huck real quick, because one thing we have to keep in mind is that it is September 11th, 23 years ago, right? We got to remember to never forget about that. I can't believe it was 23 years ago, Brady.
Yep, pretty wild. 9/11, always a special place. You know, what's interesting to me, Connor, I got a 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid, and he's getting to that age where he's learning about history and all that stuff. And yesterday he asked me, where were you at on 9/11? So I got to kind of walk him through where I was at and what I felt, because I was a sophomore in high school when it happened, and really didn't know what was happening till a couple weeks, months later, because I'm just slow like that. But it was interesting to walk him through it all. Where were you at, Connor? What?
I was not in high school. I'm a little bit younger than you, but I was in school. And the thing that sticks out to me is you got it here. Your 8-year-old probably doesn't experience, but they wheeled it. We watched it in class. They wheeled in the TVs, and then my mom taught school too. So I think it was an early dismissal. She picked me up, and the gas station across from the school there were 30 cars there, right? Because everyone was worried about gas prices.
Yeah.
Just the thing I remember. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I was in school too.
My 8-year-old, I told him I was in Spanish class, and we had the same TV on. And he's like, "Did you turn the TV on, or did the teacher turn the TV on?" I said, "The teacher did." And, well, was it in Spanish or was it in English? Well, just because it was Spanish class, it was still in English.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Oh,
we'll make sure take a few seconds to remember what we're thankful for about this country and all that. And so with that, you ready to jump in the show? You want to quote us up on the markets real quick?
yes, sir. Yeah, we got corn. These corn here is down a penny and 3/4. No beans is up 3/4 of a cent. Chicago wheat up 3 cents. KC wheat up 3. Feeder cattle were down 55 in October. Fats are kind of mixed here on both sides. Hogs are up 2.5 to 12 cents. Switching over, let's go to crude here. Flip those over. Crude's up 70 cents here this morning. Heating oil up 2 pennies. Nat gas down a penny. And then let's flip back to equities. Looking at Wall Street, the Dow Jones down 565 points on the Dow. The S&P down 48 points. The Nasdaq down 72. Kind of volatile back and forth here trade on the equities. We'll see which way they want to go. But yeah, it's kind of snapshot of where your markets are at.
Rough day on soy. I mean, across the board, but soybeans especially had a nice open, and we're already fading as we go. So we'll keep watching that. Not the price action. I got to think we're going to see some squaring before USDA report tomorrow. Keep that in mind. I got a feeling premium today. I think we're going to talk a little bit about if you want to square yourself ahead of that report, numbers to expect, and then we'll be going live for it as well tomorrow. Tune in for that. And then we'll have the experts come on later as well. I think that's Reginelli, Nate DiRocco. I can't remember the third one, Rick. Tell me if you want. But so
Brian Basting, Nate DiRocco, and Michael Reginelli.
There you go, Brian
to be
Basting.
on.
So
Yep.
Good deal. Well, so we'll be talking a lot about that tomorrow. Right now, I got a few headlines for you, Brady. I know you have some too. Let's talk some outside markets, and then I'm going to throw a surprise commodity at you, one we don't talk about a whole lot. So I didn't let you prep before, so you better be ready. Get your hat on. So, yeah, with that, give us a question if you got one. We've got Tommy, number one. Tommy, I think he's going to be – is that today the Big Iron show? He's up there up north visiting clients, going to that show. If you see him, make sure to say hi. Tell him, say hi to him, and we wish him safe travel.
If you're up there, go flag him down, chase him down, and give him some heck for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's jump right into it. First thing we saw CPI, consumer prices rose 0.2% in August, but the annual inflation rate hit its lowest level since early 21. I think this is perfectly right before it's a matter of, is that next week, Brady, where we're almost a guarantee that we're going to see that rate cut. But it's the headline we wanted. We're going to see that rate cut. I think it's just a matter of how big and how much.
Yeah, watching I like to watch the CME Fed Watch tool. It's an interesting
Mhm.
tool. You can go on and type it in your browser, CME Fed Watch. And they kind of track what the sentiment is out there for rate cuts. So right now we're 5.25, 5.5, and 85% think we'll see a quarter point cut next week at that Fed meeting. Interesting in this graphic here at the bottom right, you can barely see it. It didn't come through like I wanted it to, but a month ago, there was a 50% odds kind of that was getting priced in that we'd see a half, like 2 rate cuts, a double cut here, a 50 basis point cut going into this meeting. And they backed that off a little bit. And you can look at this for different Fed meetings out there on that Fed Watch tool, looking to the September or going out to the December meeting and see, what's the market pricing in for that. And there's, point to point and a quarter out there, which is interesting that they backed off September to me, but they still got some bigger cuts out there between now and December. Um,
Right. And stop me if I'm wrong, but 30, 45 days ago, maybe it was longer than that, is where we saw that Bank of Japan big inflation or recessionary fears, right? Turns out we digested that news and moved on from it. But
mhm.
so that, yeah, we had the scare. We thought we were talking emergency rate cut there for
Yeah,
about a day, 48 hours. And so it's always funny how fast things change. Um,
dynamic environment for sure. Yeah.
I have 12-month this puts the 12-month inflation rate at 2.5%. They wanted to be under 3. They're there, down a 0.4 percentage point from the July level,
Okay.
and compared to the estimate of 2.6%. So lower than they thought. Inflation, I think it perfectly sets the stage for a rate cut. We'll just have to see what type of rate cut we're going to see next week.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Good stuff, Connor.
So, other one I have, Tommy does a good job of talking about this, about calling your fuel guy. US diesel hits a 3-year low yesterday. We see
Hmm.
that on the back of crude oil continues to drop. I know you quoted that up. You got that quote in front of you? I don't. What's
Yeah,
crude oil
heating
doing?
oil. We're up a penny to 2 cents right now. Yeah, I I don't know. I mean, you can use options and futures to go hedge fuel needs. They're 40,000 gallon contracts. I love the idea of going in and locking in some cash stuff
Mhm.
and doing some cash contracts. But if you're looking out, next year's type of fuel needs, options are available in diesel, and you can trade them and use them to define some price risk. And you can use crude as kind of a proxy hedge too there too. But yep,
Right.
3-year low. That's worth paying attention to, Connor. I
Yeah.
like it.
No, good points on the option, right? A lot of times I feel like we talk crude just because I think it's the liquidity factor, right? If we look at heating oil, sometimes it is tough to get a fill. Um, but definitely things to be look at, even if you're just looking at locking in cash, right? 3-year low on diesel. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, are you ready? Let's talk. We talked corn, soybeans, wheat. We've talked canola last week. I've got a new
Okay.
commodity for you. You ready?
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
Barley.
Barley. Okay. What do
So
we got
I,
here?
I saw this headline. This is going to be definitely for producers up north, but barley demand dropped significantly. And the main reason, right? Barley's main ingredient in beer, that's its main market. And we've seen beer demand at the lowest it's been since the 1970s, Brady. We've seen the hard seltzers are infringing on that market. And then a little bit, I think just alcohol consumption in general is down, especially on the younger generation. But the interesting fact I saw is article. Give it read it. It's on Reuters if you want to read about it. But it was North Dakota. Barley acres in North Dakota were down something like 50%. Where
Hmm.
barley acres across the United States, I think Idaho's a big barley producer, we're down like 25%. So big acre. I mean, 50% in North Dakota.
Yeah, it's
I
huge.
know it's not a big one, but that's a big cut.
I wonder with kind of sagging corn prices and other commodity prices, if that'll bounce back. If when you get low commodity price environment, those specialty and niche type markets tend to see a little bump in acreage. I wonder if we'll see that rebound here going forward. But we're gonna have to do our part and go drink some actual beer instead of the mango seltzers, the mango white claws.
I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna tell my wife we've got to help out the North Dakota, the American farmer. I've got to drink some beer tonight, honey.
Get some barley in our system. Yep.
So interesting. Big barley acres down, and it's mostly that barley demand is not there that we've seen. So
Mm.
interesting to see.
Yep.
Um, with that, I got one more headline. Then let's talk a little premium, look at the
Okay.
price action, and go from there. Other one we've talked about renewable fuels, sustainable aviation fuel, especially right when we started ATI Pro Media into winter, all the way into March. We talked about it a lot, right? It was kind of we were a cheerleader for it. It was potential for all this soybean demand, and then they kicked the can down the road. And then when they finally we got some rhetoric on it, kind of took the wind out of our sails, right? A lot of hurdles to jump through, and then also they really pushed it, kicked the can down the road. Well, I guess on the back of the debate, that's something we should talk about too, Brady. I forgot to put that headline in, but we've got Secretary Vilsack is telling us the clean fuel tax credit will be here by the end of the Biden administration. I believe he said by the end of the year. So he's probably doing his job. He's being a cheerleader for it, that we're going to see some rhetoric that's going to push biodiesel, sustainable aviation fuel. Time will tell what we see, right? Is it truly going to be something that we can really get excited about and maybe another avenue for soybean demand? Or is it going to be a little bit gray and kind of continue just to kick the can down the road? Time will tell, but he did announce they're going to see something by the end of the year.
That'd be great to see. Yeah. It'd be great to see some export business as well. Those domestic crush is huge, and being able to consume that big crop domestically is a big thing, but getting that export pull is also a big piece of the puzzle on the demand side of things.
Yeah. Other thing with Ag Secretary, it'd be nice to see a farm bill. I don't think we're going to see it in 2024. I think that talk about kicking the can down the road. They continue to push that. I saw a headline where a few lawmakers are trying to get something pushed through. I don't know how much traction it's going to get. Right, we're still working. Farm bill was due in 2023. Is that right? Every 5 years. So we're still working off, the 2018 numbers. If I got my dates wrong, please don't make fun of me. But I think that's right. But we continue to kick the can down the road. So that will be, I think, probably 2024. I don't think we're going to talk about it a whole lot. 2025, I think that's where we're going to be. We're going to get a new farm bill pushed through, and then it's going to be interesting to see what changes are they going to make, right? And so we'll see where that goes to.
The world and the ag economy since 2018. So it'll be interesting to see what changes get put in place there, and if it's hopefully it's all in favor of the farmer. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Time will tell there. Speaking of that, did you watch the debate last night?
I did. And it was a difficult watch, but I did got through it. I don't know why. Just glutton for punishment, I guess. Connor, did you watch it?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I saw highlights.
Don't blame you.
I saw the betting odds before. What was it, like 52 Trump, 47 Harris? Now it's a little bit like 49-49. Is that right? We're a little bit closer.
I'd say going in, it was like 50-50. Kind of looking at the predicted polls, it was like 52 cents. The numbers were different, but it's kind of squared away going in, and then coming out, Trump lost a little, 5-6 cents on that predicted bet deal. And then Kamala gained 2 to 3 cents. So I saw a little separation there. A lot of talk about Kamala having a little better night than Trump. Maybe Trump had more to lose over there, but who knows? It's tough to watch. I regretted watching it the minute I started. But
I can't imagine that the average American, if they went into that debate, I can't imagine that they flipped their vote. But apparently a few people did, right? The independent voters out there are flipping their position. But yeah, interesting to see. I did see I like watching the True Social, the DJT stock ticker. It was down something like 15-16% today.
Interesting. Okay.
Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk cattle while you're looking that up real quick.
Yeah.
Choice cutout was down 29 cents yesterday, 308.23 versus a week ago. That's down 2.44. So we're seeing some erosion on the choice box beef cutout. A lot of questions of where the Packers at, how aggressive they need to buy beef and buy cattle for beef here post Labor Day. Seeing a little chop here in the markets, and we kind of need the stock market, I think, to help us out, and the macro economy to help us out. I think eyes will be on that Fed meeting next week, and that could play into some of the cattle fund positioning a little bit. A lot of money to me looking at cattle. money, where do they want to park their money, and is it high risk or high reward? We're weighing that back and forth, and seems to me like funds want to be on the sidelines right now. But that's my cattle bit.
Gotcha.
Did you get that stat here for us, Connor?
Down right around 15% this morning. So looking at the stock
good.
ticker, looking at the bets, I would say not the best showing from Trump. It seems like to be the consensus. Not right. Not necessarily. If you were a big Kamala, I haven't heard a lot of super positives from Kamala Harris. I think it was more the stumbling and from Trump. It seems to be. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it just felt like kind of the old, like, oh, no, I don't really want to do this again type of stuff with Trump, and just can't. Yeah, he couldn't seem to help himself, but it is what it was. Let's get into some comments, Connor.
Yeah, let's do it. Comments, and let's talk premium too. We had a really good one yesterday.
Okay. Farmer Brett, I'd like your opinion. Is it a good time to buy farm ground? That's a good question.
This is a good one. I got a quote from him. See if you know who said it. Buy ground or buy land. It's not going anywhere. You know who said it?
Who?
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain. Okay, I like it. I'm in the same boat as Mark Twain. I love that opinion. That owning dirt is a great thing to do. I love it. But
Brett, I'll give you the Central Illinois update on some land sales. So I'm in Christian County. It's where Assumption, Illinois is. It's pretty, it's good farm ground all around us, but definitely up north, Macon County. We saw a few farm sales, and the prices weren't they were a little bit lower than I expected. I don't know if it was just based on what the bidders were, but it kind of made me thinking, okay, land the price of land might see a pullback, right? It was in I think on the high end the pieces went for 17 to 18 maybe. On the low end we went down to like 16, and this is pretty good farm ground, so I really thought that was a couple thousand off. Last week some stuff in Christian County, it went closer to 21 up to almost 22, and on the low end 18. And so if we're looking for a significant pullback on farmland, I'll tell you in Central Illinois it hasn't happened yet, right? We're still seeing good prices, maybe not the great prices. If the ground would have sold in maybe a year or two ago, maybe we're looking a little bit higher, but it's still holding in there, right? We're not seeing significant pullback on land prices yet. What's your opinion?
Well, it just seems like dirt is especially American dirt. It's a safe haven type of asset. It's something you can go, if you had some capital lying around and you can, use it, go park it in some dirt, sit there for a while, and, leave something for the next generation, your kids, or, you're part of your legacy. So I love it. As long as it doesn't strap you too much on the cash side. The interest rate piece is kind of tough to go out there. If you're going to go finance it, it gets really difficult. But
yeah. And that's a good point, because I think, if we're farming, we're looking at buying land. We know how to do that calculation, right? We're increasing our production. We look at it, if we're borrowing it, this is what we're going to pay. I always look at the outside money, however that may be. If you're looking at buying farm ground, right, you use a big cash rent number. CDs to me still pay better, which you got the land appreciation, right? And you got all those factors, but I always like weighing those. And sometimes I think when I saw these big numbers, where they go. So might listen to the premium video TG did last week with the land guy. Interesting to hear his thoughts also. Yep. Great comment, Tony.
He's always a good listen. The Land Talker comes on every couple of weeks and has a great update about what's going on with all things land. So if you want that episode, Farmer Brett, and I think you're a premium subscriber though, so you probably got it in your back pocket. Hopefully, go check out what he said. So, got any other comments here, Tom?
We got a few more premium. Let's talk that real quick while we're on the backs of it.
Yeah.
Tommy G and Dave Lechtenberg talked about store versus sell math. I thought it was a great video. Tommy he mentioned it yesterday on the live show, but I got a chance to watch it. Dave Lechtenberg does a great job of really getting down to the nuts and bolts, looking at the math. Are you sticking the grain in the bin for the right reasons? And if you are sticking the bin, how are you making sure those bins work for you? If we're selling the grain, right, are we making the right decisions there? Great video. It walks through it really well. Give it a watch.
Yep. I love listening to our ATI, mentor type brokers, Tony, Dave Lechtenberg. These guys, they've been in the business for a long time, and it's not the same old, do you think the market's going up? Do you think it's going to go down type of rhetoric? It's, hey, these are the decisions you have. Let's crunch the numbers, see what makes sense for you, and put you in the best position to benefit going forward and define your bottom line and your risk. So Good stuff always from Dave Lechtenberg and Tommy there.
Yep, absolutely. Well, what other let's pop the rest of the questions, and I think we'll get out of here.
Yep. No more. We're good. Joe's waving us off, saying all good.
Here we go. Tony Dunker, government equals best can kickers ever. Isn't that the truth, Tony? I wonder, is this what's the most delayed we've seen a farm bill, right? Are we in uncharted? I don't know the answer to this. Are we in uncharted territory that we're, what are we, a year and a half delayed? Or has this happened before? Interesting to see if someone's got the answer. I'll look it up too, but let us know.
Do some research, Connor. Let's go do some research on that.
And so with that, I think, Rick, if you're ready, we're going to end the show a little bit differently. Let's make sure, again, we're going to remember 9/11, September 11th. So we're going to wrap up the show with just a good shot of the towers. But I think with that, remember USDA tomorrow, and everyone have a great day.
You as well, Connor.